Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're here to talk about Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc. And as always, I have here with me the Stone Hashira, Ro,
Howdy, howdy.
and the Love Hashira, Sylvia.
Oh no. Hello.
Hey, it was either that or the snake Hashira, so you pick.
I would have done the snake, honestly.
What are you then?
I like that. I like that.
Are you the water Hashira?
Oh, me? I think I'm more of
Rengoku.
the no, I'm more of the electricity type. But
Thunder.
thunder. But I'm excited to talk about Demon Slayer. I mean, I feel like we've talked about this show. This is probably our third time recording on it. We love Demon Slayer, even though this season might have not been the most exciting. I still freaking love Demon Slayer, and I feel like I needed to talk about the show because I love it, and I just want to talk about everything that's either happened or it's going to happen in the future. And obviously, Sylvia, you just watched the whole thing in the past month, so I'm very excited to talk to you about it. But before
Probably
we
in the
get
last week.
A little, yeah, a little bit. I took a break from like season 3 to get to the 4th season.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's probably helpful to always take a break in between. That way you can kind of enjoy something and not feel like it's just like I gotta finish it. And at least that's how I felt when I was watching One Piece. Like gotta just take my time.
I'm still
with it.
watching it. I'm still in the 1050s.
See, that was me with Kaiju though. Like I know so many people love it, but I felt like I had to force myself to finish it.
It's so short.
I know, but I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into that one.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't in our episodes, but I said that it wasn't a perfect show. A lot of the first season shows
it
are
wasn't
never
perfect,
perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before we start talking about Demon
Except Chainsaw
Slayer,
Man.
what is it? Except Chainsaw
Except
Man. Yeah,
Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man is a great one that we'll get you to watch it
Hell's
eventually.
Paradise.
And Hell's Paradise. Yeah, Hell's Paradise is all right. Okay, but before we start talking about Demon Slayer, let's start talking about things that we've been watching. Sylvia, what have you been watching?
Honestly, this time I just finished up Demon Slayer. I've been a little bit booked with just life and work, so I haven't had time to watch too many things. So it was pretty much just that, and then watching on and off between The Boys as well, which I just found out season 5 is when they're ending, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of
Next season.
there's a lot of spin-off shows that they're coming up with, including one in Mexico, so The Boys in Mexico. So
Oh wow, okay, interesting.
and after watching the last spin-off show, Gen B, like I actually really did enjoy that. Good. So like I'm actually like positive on all these like different spin-offs they might do.
Dude, yeah, and they bringing it. They brought it into the show too. So.
Oh yeah, they brought it up in a good way. So yeah, like Sylvia, if you haven't finished The Boys the latest season, I highly recommend you also to watch Gen B because you might understand like not a lot, but some of the things that were happening in this season.
I'm just about done with it though. I think I'm like on episode 5 or 6, and I think there's 8 overall, so I'm pretty much done. I will say I love watching The Boys when I'm cooking though, because I feel like the length of the episode, which I don't double speed this. This I've actually been watching as it goes, and it's the perfect cooking speed because it typically takes me like an hour to an hour and a half, and it's just perfect.
I mean, let's be honest. The boys, they cook on a lot of their episodes as far as like they're on fire with the writing, what's happening, I
thought this was going a very different way. I'm like, oh, because he lasers them, and now they're cooked me. I get you.
No,
Frenchie is actually cooking.
He's actually a really good cook. Yeah.
Yeah, the third season of The Boys is my favorite, and we were meant to sort of talk about that today, but I'm like, let's pivot to Demon Slayer. But maybe it sounds like we actually have a lot to say about The Boys, so maybe we'll talk about that one. But bro, it took you 15 minutes to write all the shows that you were watching, so hit me.
I can't wait. Yeah.
No, not. It didn't take me that long. No, but I started watching. I think it's called Those About to Die. I think it's on Peacock.
Okay.
It has Ramsey Bolton from Game of Thrones.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much Roman times, and like they're building the Colosseum. It's interesting. It kind of feels like it's gonna be similar to Spartacus.
Okay.
If you ever saw that, but it's has Ramsey in it. So
how often in a day do you think about the Roman Empire?
Not as much as they say.
Okay.
I think I probably think about space more often than the
The
Roman Empire.
What about you,
I feel like
Sylvie?
it's a loaded question. You ask any man that, and then they take like a whole minute to well, not that often, but have you thought about? And then they go on a spiel, and you're like, okay, that's cool.
No, the only time I think about the Roman Empire is probably about Gladiator, the first movie with Russell Crowe, and that's about it.
The sequel's coming out.
Which doesn't make me that excited. And I think it has to do something with the lead in that movie, but we'll see. You know, I love the director, so
Yeah. Ridley Scott's done
Ridley
some
Scott's
good
great.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude.
So I saw the first episode of that. So it has potential. So I want to keep watching to see how it's gonna go.
Okay.
And then I've been watching Suicide Squad Isekai, and
how is
the
that?
last episode was actually really cool. So it's an anime Suicide Squad. It kind of has what you would want in a Suicide Squad, and it kind of has what you want in an anime. So it's pretty good animation. And then you have all the personalities of the Suicide Squad, and they stay pretty true. Joker's a little weird.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about him. But it's not bad. It's imagine Suicide Squad went to a place where there's magic and elves and stuff like that.
I've seen clips. Nothing that makes me like start watching immediately. I've seen the out song where Amanda Waller's dancing.
Yeah, Amanda Waller.
Yeah. So that kind of makes me giggle a little when I see that. Yeah, I'll check it out eventually. Especially if you keep telling me it's worth it for sure.
Yeah. Like it's. I'm not gonna say it's the best thing I've ever seen, but it's good. It's good. I would suggest it for and it's only in Japanese, so.
I'll wait till that English cast starts putting the dub version of it.
I don't know if they are, because I think the whole point of it is to be an anime. So I don't know if they're gonna dub it, but we'll see.
Gotcha. Cool.
But yeah, and then I've been watching finally Ranking of Kings. It's good. It's very tragic. So it's a small kid that he's deaf, so he can also not talk. And then his dad is a giant, and then a bunch of shenanigans happens, and he kind of goes away, and then he turns out to be strong.
And what's the name of the show?
Ranking of Kings.
And it's an anime or a regular show?
Yeah, it's an anime.
Oh, it's an anime. Okay.
Yeah. But a ton of tragic stuff happens, and there's a lot of characters, and
it's just sometimes, unless the name is like something like, oh, I went to the store and on my way to the store I got hit by a car and I got reincarnated as a refrigerator. Sometimes I don't know if it's an anime nowadays. Has to be really.
We're pretty much really. And then talking about long names, the Jobless Reincarnation, that season is going on, so I've been watching that weekly. That one's actually pretty good. It's interesting. And then Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh, nice.
Too.
That one, people love Reincarnated as a Slime. I gotta check it out one day.
It's good. It's definitely it's one of the better isekais, and Jobless Reincarnation is actually also one of the better isekais.
Well, you know what my favorite isekai is? Digimon.
Dude, I remember nothing of Digimon.
I remember everything about Digimon.
The vaguest memory of it.
Oh, guys,
there's like a butterfly one, right? Or like she was kind of purple or pink.
It's
like a T-Rex or something, isn't there?
It's a cactus, and she ultimately evolves into like a fairy with a rose petal attack.
What was the other show with like the balls, and then they turn into like the dragons or whatever?
Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, they had like they were like dragons, but they were like in these little balls that you would like throw, and then they would battle each other with that. Oh man,
Bakugan, you mean?
Not Bakugan. Yeah, Bakugan. Yeah, that was Bakugan, it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember it being like was it Blade Run? I don't know what it was called, but like they it's like the spin thingies, they spin Beyblade? Them, and then Beyblade was a good one that I liked when I was little.
Yeah, my son has watched both of those.
Yeah. Don't you wish Beyblade was like a real sport and we could go to the park and challenge people? Sorry.
we have some Beyblades
here. Yeah, you can buy them.
Yeah, but I have a Beyblade arena with like 5 or 6 different Beyblades.
Dude, then I'm knocking on your door and challenging you for custody of your kid next time I go over. Is there anything else, Rose? Sorry. Anything else?
No, probably watching. Oh, and I did finally see the movie that I think Ramon brought up. And you guys brought up with the last one. So I saw it. So my son is 9. I cried during the movie.
Oh, okay. I felt like it was like a heartwarming movie, but I just didn't really pay attention like I should have.
Yeah, it's meant to. I will say it's meant to be kind of funny, but it was only kind of funny. So I will say that. But I understood what they were trying to do, and generally it kind of worked with what they were trying to do. It just kind of worked mediocrely.
Well, the imaginary friends, like, they look great themselves. Like, I'm like, oh man, like, nothing in this, none of them look cheap or fake, or like, I never believed they weren't there. So that alone was like really cool.
Except for Keith.
That's the one that you can't see, Sylvia, because it's invincible.
I remember from last week.
Yeah,
the one that Brad Pitt.
That was Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Oh man. No, that's cool, man. I mean, that's you've been watching things. That's good, because I think, you must have been busy, because I remember lately you don't have a lot to talk about, so I'm glad you're kind of back in that, watching things and recommending.
And he
things.
watched all of them while he went camping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't watch anything this weekend, so I had to wait till Sunday night to watch My Hero.
Oh,
so that was interesting.
Yeah, that one's taking its time, especially because there's these breaks in between. This,
this last episode,
I don't know, man. The animation could be better for what's happening on screen, but yeah, I won't talk too much about it.
I think the direction has been my issue with Shigaraki, because of the whole, like, the angles that they take. It's hard to really see anything.
Yeah, this is one time where I felt like in the manga it was being done better than now that I'm seeing it. I'm like, this is not like how I expected it to pop out. So I'm kind of a little disappointed with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read them, but yeah, Bakugo though, and then dude, everybody in that area, and I don't know. I'm just.
You're just. Yeah. You sounded exhausted from that last deep breath.
Yeah.
Well, Sylvia, you mentioned you like to watch The Boys while cooking, so I'm gonna give you a great show that you can watch right now. Next time you're doing your 5-star dinner for your boyfriend, because you're the cook in this show. So I've been watching this show that some people might refer to it as D&D. I like it, but the actual name of it's on Netflix. It's called Dungeon and Delicious.
Delicious and Dungeon?
I think it's Delicious and
Delicious and Dungeon, yeah.
I thought it was Dungeon and Delicious. Okay, yeah, Delicious and Dungeon. That sounds...
Yeah, dude, it's a really good show to watch while you're cooking.
Yes, and it's done by MAPPA, which they do all the Jujutsu Kaisen animation and other great shows. And
Drama 100.
Now that you can just watch every episode all at once, like, it's really good. Like, the characters, by the time you're done with the show, you'll really love to grow the characters themselves. Sometimes it feels, because like every episode is kind of focused on cooking a monster. It's like, this episode we're gonna cook this monster, and this is how I cook it. And then
I was gonna ask if they give recipes for the food, because then I could share a recipe that I made.
They do,
like real recipes though, like ones that I can make.
Not a real recipe though.
Unless you can get your hands on
real monsters.
Monsters.
Hey, I mean, maybe
if you go in a dungeon, but I don't think you should be going in a dungeon.
I forgot what they're called. Yeah,
unless you have a med, like somebody to heal you, and you have you have to have like a crew to go in a dungeon.
I'll watch one or two and then see if I can just reenact a recipe and make it similar to that.
And the wok made out of adamantine metal.
Yeah. No, if you watch it honestly and you'd say like, hey, this is great, let's talk about it. Like, I would love to actually do, because I enjoyed it that much. Down. It was just like a really fun, like, no commitment, just if you enjoy it. Because again, I don't know if everybody loves it, if it's just like caught me by surprise. But yeah, I thought it was a really enjoyable show, especially if you can again binge it one after another.
Yeah, no, I love cooking shows. Like I said, it typically takes me like an hour and a half to cook and like get everything set up, like the whole dinner, right?
Yeah.
So if it can take me up to that, even if it's a few episodes, but they're easy to where I'm paying attention, but at the same time, like, I can look in the oven and see what's going on and then look back up. Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect show for that.
So you can skip the intro and outro. So.
As I always do anyways.
Don't do that. Some of them are great and you should not.
I will say
some of them depends.
Yeah. For kaiju though, I did not skip any of those nobody.
Yeah, that was a good one. and for Masho, that was also a good one.
Masho, dude, those,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
especially that last season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I kind of been watching, it's nobody watches shows on Apple, so it's always impossible to talk to anybody about any Apple shows. But I just started watching this one called Dark Matter, and I kind of had an idea of what it could be.
That not an Apple show, is it?
I'm watching it on Apple TV. So I started the first episode. I knew what it was going to be about. It was going to be about multiple realities and other universes, and so I watched the first episode, and I was kind of like feeling it out. I'm like, is this going to be for me? This is going to be for me. Thankfully, I saw the whole first episode, and I gave the second one a chance. And I think after the second one, things get really like kicking as far as like what the story is, how it progresses, what's happening. But it's pretty much about a man that invents a way of traveling to another world, and he regrets a decision that he made, where instead of focusing on building a family with this woman, he went the opposite side that led him to create this machine that can travel to other realities. So he went back and he kidnapped the man from the reality where he actually did go with the girl, and they have a kid, and he kidnapped them, threw him in his world, and he took over his life in that world. So the whole show is about the other guy trying to get back to his reality, while the other guy is trying to like stay in that reality, but he just keeps messing it up. And he's not a bad guy. He's a scientist and he wants to be good, but it's just like by the end of the season, like everything's just going to hell because of all the the multiple realities that have been happening. But it's really good. I think it's so smart. I think it's so.
Is this a newer show?
It's a new show. I think it just came out like this year. It has Jennifer Connelly, and she's always beautiful to watch. And again, if you guys ever get a 1 month subscription for Apple TV, like I'd highly recommend Dark Matter. That's a really good show that right now I've just been enjoying.
I have Apple TV. I just never watch it.
Oh, you should watch that for sure. And then
there's another show called Dark Matter that involves spaceship and other stuff that I thought you were talking about, but it's very different to that.
No, let me see. Now, it's that's the name of the show. But yeah, no, again, really highly recommend it because again, I don't think anybody talks about Apple TV shows, and some of them are so freaking good. And I hate the fact that they even announced that they're gonna like lower their costs on some of the budget they've been spending because nobody's watching, sadly.
Wow. Yeah.
But
because nobody has Apple TV.
I know, like, dude, I'm telling you, if one of these shows landed on a Netflix or on a Max or on a Prime, like people would binge them and be talking about them. Nobody, like, they're holding on to them, sadly. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because like the obviously, the only reason people got Apple TV Plus for a while was because Ted Lasso, but the thing is that like there's no big hype over any other show besides the what's that other show where they go into an elevator and they change lives?
Severance. Yeah.
Severance is the only other show that I've heard like actual big hype about.
Well, I know that I think maybe Apple was thinking about merging with Paramount. I don't know. There's a lot of merger talk like happening because some of these services just aren't making it on their own. So we'll see. But I do hope that one day one of these shows lands on Netflix so that you guys in the world can watch them and talk about how great they are. And then the other last thing that I want to talk about, and I think this is a great movie. This movie might definitely be in my top 5 movies of the year, and I wasn't expecting that. And Sylvia, this will kind of give you an idea of to like, I love nerd shit and I love animated shit, but at the end of the world, like some of these shows like Dark Matter and this next movie, it's like the stuff that like really like it's more of my personality, and like at the end of the day, this is the kind of shit that I really like love to like watch and digest and think about. But there's a movie called Love Lies Bleeding, and it stars from Twilight, Kristen Stewart. And
yeah.
It's on Max. You can stream it right now. And I thought it was awesome. Like the acting on it was great. The movie itself was amazing. It kind of reminded me of the Neon Demon, if you've ever seen the Neon Demon, where it's kind of like realistic world, realistic things are happening, but then it has like these elements like, wait, did that just happen? Did that girl just throw up another girl that she ate? Like, did she just throw her up on the floor? So it's just like, it's kind of like a very real serious movie that has a lot of like fucked up elements in between that you're kind of again thinking like, wait, what is that doing in this movie when this movie is about 2 girls falling in love and the dad sells weapons and there's her sisters with an abusive husband that beats her ass, and one of them's like, I can't leave the town unless I can protect my sister, and then the bodybuilder does something. There's like one of the girlfriends like a bodybuilder, so it's just again really the acting.
There's a lot to it. It seems
there's a lot to it. I honestly might be talking about this movie. Yeah, I might be talking about this movie every time that we record because I just loved it so much, and I do think that I want to hear somebody else tell me like, I didn't enjoy it because right now it's really on top of my list. That's how good it was.
Is it newer or is it an older
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, it's newer. Yeah,
It's newer. It just
I'll
came
watch
out.
it this weekend. Yeah, because I think it was in theaters, but it didn't do great in theaters.
But I think it's like Kristen Stewart's like best rated movie ever, and dude, honestly, like her acting was super good in this movie. So I again really, really highly recommend it. And
I just imagine her like Twilight era though.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what you
She
remind.
kind of gets a bad rap because of that.
Yeah, but watching her did remind me of movies that I saw her when she was like just starting. So maybe that's another reason why I kind of did love this one. Because I'm like, oh, she's like reminding me of herself when she was doing Twilight and all these other movies.
Wasn't she in that one movie? Oh my god, maybe it was Disney or like Disney or Cartoon Network where they were playing like that board game, and then that board game came to life. She was playing with her little brother.
The Jumanji kind of. It was like Jumanji sort of, but it's like
but
they go to space.
Jumanji.
They go to space. No, it's not Jumanji,
they
but they go to space.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. It's like it's a younger version. Sorry, it's a younger Kristen Stewart when she's like a teenager. Yeah, that was
an okay movie.
It's a good one.
That was pretty good.
It's directed by the Iron Man director, Raul.
Oh,
Jon Favreau?
Yeah, by him. So he directed that movie. So it's one that people didn't see at the time, but if you see it, it's really well.
What's it called?
Movie. It has a weird name.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
If you want to look,
it's not Jumanji.
If you want to look at it, Sylvia, while I just talk real quick about something that I just want to see, but no spoilers.
It's not Shark Boy Lava Girl. Right?
No, it's not. Bro, come on. So I just came back from watching Deadpool and Wolverine. No spoilers. All I'm gonna say is that movie had some insane cameos that I made a laughing noise in the movie theater that I don't think I've ever made in my life while I was like those cameos came on. So like I can't wait for the whole world to experience watching.
I'm gonna see it Saturday.
Yeah, can't wait for you to watch it.
All right.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sophia and I are going together.
Yeah, like we went camping too. Yeah.
Camping. I need to be part of that group chat.
It's just us two, but we never respond to each other. We just send a brand new text message.
Oh my god.
And it was called Zathura.
Oh, Zathura.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
A space adventure. Yeah.
But
got it.
But yeah,
that was a while ago. That had Josh Hutcherson in it.
Oh yeah,
and Dax.
So yeah, it's always fun to see
Dax Shepard.
It's always fun to see old movies and then see actors that are bigger now.
Yeah,
so that's always kind of fun. No,
that's a blast from the past. I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, we can get to Demon Slayer. Sylvia, I'm gonna go to you first because again, you just watched not just the latest season, but you just got introduced to the whole world Demon Slayer. And I don't know if before you started watching it, and we talked about it obviously on our Discord, people are always like either talking about how great it is or how they miss it or how they want it to come back. But now that you watched it, what is your experience with Demon Slayer?
Honestly, I loved every single season. I think all of them had some really good arcs. Maybe some seasons were better than others.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed all of them. I loved Nezuko. I feel like she's the sweet, and I loved the animations that they would have with her, of her just like being upset at someone, and then you just have like the two little button eyes, or that she's like laying like a loaf. They were so cute. And I don't know. I felt like it was just like a breath of fresh air almost. It was different from what I've ever watched.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed every part of it. That first season was mostly him just kind of getting himself ready to, kind of go into the, the Hiroshima training and all of that, and kind of learning more about the demon world, and him just initially training, but still wanting to save his sister who slept for 2 years. I don't know why he wasn't worried about her for sleeping for 2 years. And the whole time I was watching it, I was watching it with a few people, I kept asking why he doesn't just have her eat the demons, but I guess they can't eat the demons.
Like themselves, like the demons cannot eat.
Yeah, like the demons can't eat demons.
Well, Musan feeds them his own blood to make them more powerful. But yeah, I don't know if they can eat each other to get. Because
the whole time I felt so bad for her. I'm like, why doesn't he just let her eat a demon so that way she's not hungry all the time? And instead, they're just putting her in a box and telling her to sleep. The train was amazing. I guess my least favorite season though was all of the Harishima training that they were doing, because it just felt like he was going from one person to the next person to the next person. I think that was the last season, right?
Yeah,
that was
but then the last episode, I hate how it ended. It
was crazy.
He's falling and then it's just cut.
Wasn't that last episode like I don't know, I just think it was one, like, besides the Mugen train, how that one towards the end, and obviously the district one, with the sound Hashira, like I think the last episode of the last season was just so good. Like, it was just perfect. Like, I just can't.
Really good.
Animation was freaking gorgeous in that last episode.
So I know when we go see the next movie, that's because, from now on, if you want to see how the show ends, you got to like go to the movie theaters to go see the
three movies. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be surprised when like the last episode is probably gonna be the intro to the movie, because they've been doing that lately. They always show like whatever happened on the last episode as part of the beginning of the newest movie. But I'm not gonna be disappointed, because, dude, I actually do want to experience that in a movie theater with great sound and
the design, the graphics are all amazing, to where it actually made me look up how much money they spend on each episode, because I thought all of their animations were great. $80,000, just about. That's like the median for each episode.
Well, they pay the people, and sadly they're animating these things. They don't pay them very good, and it's a lot of like overtime. So it's just kind of sucks.
Which is why Godzilla -1.
Like a $15 million
Still need to watch that.
and then it's funny because Zom 100 is pretty much the same thing. It's kind of talking about how much they don't pay animators, because the main character is like, that's what he does. He's like a copywriter.
And it's crazy for how successful they are. Like, I don't know who's getting the merchandise money and all that, because some of these studios, they'll go bankrupt, and you're like, wait, what? How did they go bankrupt?
Like, it was doing so well, yeah.
Who's your favorite character in Demon Slayer? Just curious. Or top two, I don't know.
It has to be Nezuko is like my number one. The animations that they did with her, they're just so cute. But then I think the second one, it's kind of a toss-up for me, because I do love the love I'm gonna pronounce it wrong every single time.
That's
Hashira.
Fine.
But I kind of like the blonde kid.
Yes. Senetsu.
Because he's always freaking out. He has no idea what's happening. Oh, and then that white-haired kid. His brother is the white-haired kid, and then
Hashira, and then the Mohawk.
His little brother, I love him.
Yeah,
I think he had such a great arc.
The one that was eating the demon.
Yeah, I think he had such a great arc. We go from seeing him like basically trying to hit from like the training, he tried to hit like the girl with the short hair, and then we see him eating with all of them and just talking to them normally once they stand up to his brother for him. I thought that was really sweet. Like, he had this whole arc for him, and I love him. He's one of my favorites for sure.
No, that's great to hear. And I mean, like, I want to hear all yours too. Like, you might have told me in the past, or maybe now you have a new favorite. But before you tell me, are you the kind of guy that would sacrifice your kid to be able to take down your one enemy in life?
Of course.
Of course.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, when he just exploded the house.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, that's the only way
you see his kids playing, and then he just boom.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way you were going to get Musan to show up, to make him feel like this is not a trap. And
but did the kids know?
Yeah, they probably knew. I felt like the mom definitely knew, and the kids, I felt like they knew.
My jaw dropped. Oh my God.
I kind of feel like maybe there's something else to it, because I kind of want to believe that that's not exactly what happened. It just looked like that's what happened.
I mean, I also, now from looking at it from like Musan's point, because he went in there to like, hey, I'm gonna end the whole Demon Slayer corpse. Like, this is it. Like, I'm gonna kill the head, and then everybody's gonna go to the Infinity Castle. I do feel like Musan also went in there because obviously when they capture all the Hashiras at once, I feel like that was also their game plan. Because I think the Hashiras would have been harder to like get them into the Infinity Castle, because they're so fast or they're so resourceful, that at that moment they were so full of hate and trying to like kill Musan, that I felt like that was the only way that they were able to also capture them all into the Infinity Castle. So I felt like both sides knew like what they were doing. Like, Musan went in there with the intention of just killing the master and possibly capturing these Hashiras, and then obviously the master had his own game plan, which we're gonna see play out more in the future. So I'm excited about that.
And isn't the family from the master, don't they they die pretty early on, right? Or like that was the whole thing with his family. Like
The
so maybe
bloodline.
he knew that his kiddos were gonna die soon anyways. So, that was just like a play on his part.
Yeah, because I mean, they say that like he marries like they combine the bloodline with priests, like priestess, like so they marry
Mm-hmm.
priestess so that they can live a little bit
Can live a
longer.
little bit longer, but I feel like they were dying when they were pretty young, basically like newborns,
Yeah.
and then he became the master when he was like 4 years old, I think it was.
I mean, he was marrying like if they're marrying like Targaryen looking like
Yeah,
priestess, like
yeah, the white haired, yeah.
put me down for whatever disease he has. But no, Ro, what's your favorite Hashira? Is it the stone Hashira? Did I guess right?
I do like him, especially now that you kind of got to see his backstory.
Yeah.
Um, I think so, because well, besides the Flame Hashira,
Oh yeah,
but
Rengoku.
yeah, but that's everybody's favorite, especially after the train to Musan.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Stone Hashira was pretty
Train to
cool.
Musan. Sorry, I just caught that.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, probably. I'll say it. But the Snake Hashira was actually pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So
I've been talking a lot of crap about the Snake Hashira because in the manga he just never came off as like cool or interesting, and I was always like, F that guy, that Foot Locker looking guy. But this season sort of showed me that I'm actually gonna be rooting for him. Like I really did
Mhm.
like him, and I understand like why people might actually like gravitate towards that guy and like him as much as they do. So I'm like, oh yeah, he was cool, man. I
He was
liked it
like
a
a
lot.
mix of Orochimaru and
Oh my
Sasuke almost, like the two
dude,
of them.
Sylvia, you don't even know how much I love Orochimaru. Like more than Sasuke, maybe.
more than
Yeah.
Sasuke loves them, or
Oh, oh.
Hey, if Orochimaru needs a body, I'm right here, man.
do you love him as much as Kabuto loves him?
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's a-
The stone one was the blind guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I did love his backstory too.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty.
was sad. And then the little girl saying that he was the one that killed everyone. Oh my gosh. My heart broke for him.
I know. That's why he
Yeah.
doesn't like kids and
Like, not only does he see all of his kids had passed away, he kills this demon with his strength. And then the little girl, all she sees is just no demon, only that. That
what's
was.
it's one of those things. I mean, like, what are you gonna do if the demons disappear? I mean, the one thing that I think we talked about in the past is like, I don't understand if the demon corps, it's something that the country itself knows that they exist and they know that demons are, because obviously they're probably getting resources and money to be able to like walk around with these katanas and stuff. So it's just like, that's where I feel like I wish I knew more about like how well do people know that demons are a thing, and obviously the government, if they don't know, should know. So it's just kind of one of those things like when people tell you like, hey, a demon came in
I
here, they
kind of
should
wonder if
believe
it's
it.
yeah, I kind of wonder if it's just like in the shadows kind of thing that like it
Probably.
works outside of the government, and because like the master, like his family is probably loaded and they
Yeah,
fund everything
yeah.
because it's
They
probably
have
gone for
foresight.
generations. Yeah.
Well, they have
So
the foresight in them now. Yeah.
yeah. So they probably just fund everything, and then the demon slayers they just train to be kind of like ninjas and just be under the radar, because in the city nobody believes in demons, but like
Mhm.
around Tanjiro, like when it, like way in the beginning, like he stayed over at that other person's house because he mentioned something about demons, that there's demons
Mhm.
about or whatever, so he should spend the night. So he did. So in rural areas, I guess they do believe in demons and or think that they're a
Yeah.
thing. So
Well, they do that. Was it hysteria? What was the name of the thing that they burned so that they don't approach them at night? Like, they do
oh
that.
Oh, the
yeah.
wisteria.
Hysteria.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's another thing that they do. No,
Because that's like that tree, right? When they're first, I guess, auditioning to be part of the core, it's all of those hysteria trees that are
yeah.
around, so they
That way the
can.
demons can't escape it. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
No. I'm gonna pretty much like answer my own question about like my favorite like Hashira or my favorite person in Demon Slayer, but I'm kind of like you, Sylvia. Like I am a defender of Senetsu because I understand how annoying he is, and how like I hate how thirsty he is for like Nezuko and or other girls in the show. But
But he's
that dude,
funny.
when he closes
But
his,
when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
he's there.
yeah, when
Because he falls asleep.
when he falls asleep and he's
Who
knocked
cares? He's
out.
still there.
Dude, that guy is just incredible. And you know, I'm gonna quote a quote from I'm gonna like say a quote from Bruce Lee, and it's almost like, I don't fear the guy that has practiced 10,000 moves. I fear the guy that has practiced one move 10,000 times. And
yeah,
it's like that. Senetsu just knows one move, and he knows it so freaking good, like one style of breathing, and like it's amazing. Anytime he falls asleep, it's just like it's like the best thing in the world for me. I just love it so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did teach Tundero because he
Yeah,
taught him like
yeah.
the whole like thunder,
leg
like
thing,
leg running and everything, and it helped him with his breathing too. I think he's a lot stronger than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were missed in the last season. Like, I feel like we
I
missed
know.
them because like they weren't there in the hidden village.
So that's
sadly.
when Inosuke, because I really like Inosuke too, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't like Inosuke, and I've talked about
I
my
do.
hate for him because he doesn't really have any kind
He's
of
too pretty.
training. Like, to me, he doesn't really.
He's prettier than him, and he just
he's not a real like. He's not like, he doesn't know any styles of fighting. He's just like beast mode or whatever. And
But remember, on the train, he was the only one that wasn't affected by anything because he didn't know where he was looking from the mask.
But that's the thing. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, I moved my heart 2 inches to the right, and that's why the sword didn't cut my heart." And it's like, what, dude? That doesn't make any sense. Or
It's the beast breathing.
Oh
he
my
has
god,
total control over his body.
Totally useless. We don't need him. I understand he's a pretty looking guy, and
But he's hilarious.
I
like
him more than Senetsu.
That's Ramon's favorite character, Sylvia. So he was here. He would be defending him to the core because he loves Inosuke.
Him in Ramon's honor.
Yeah, I like him. I think
I love him,
again, he always shows up. He's always there when he's supposed to help them out. He's never a reason for their downfall. If anything, he actually helps them defeat whatever they need to. I know that a lot of people don't like him, especially like the swordsman, because he always makes himself have like the serrated swords and all. But I mean,
and two of them.
Yeah, and I mentioned Ramona, and I guess I didn't say it in the beginning, but if anybody's wondering, Ramon just couldn't be here. So
wait, he's not here.
Whoa.
No, Raul, I don't know if you started noticing, but Sylvia's plan is to slowly take down one of us little by little. So like Ramon.
What do you mean? Raul and I are going to be running this in a second. We're always the first ones ready for the podcast. What do you mean? That's what we're texting about the whole time.
Sylvia, I will say, ever since you've been part of the show, Raul has been early to every episode. And let's just say before that.
Well, because it's so much earlier.
So I'm happy you're here because that makes Raul early. So that I'm thankful.
I don't know. You guys are always late. We come on time. Yeah. You say 10, we're here at 10, or for my time, 10, we're here at 10. You say 10:15, we're here at 10:15. Who's late?
Well, we'll make sure to check up on Ramon and make sure that whatever you did to him, hopefully he can recover from it. But yeah,
that's why we went camping.
We're actually gathering plants and herbs and spices.
Well, I'm glad it's being documented.
Spices for the cooking, and then
yeah, we're just cooking for him. We made such a good meal, he didn't even want to leave.
I'm glad this is being documented. Yeah, and put out there for
You're next, Carlos.
Yeah, no, apparently. But no, I mean, so this season, I mean, my only negative things about this season, because I was one of those people that I knew the Hashira training arc just didn't have a lot of meat to it, and it just wasn't going to be that great. So my expectations were already like kind of low for it. But the only things that I kind of didn't like about this season is that from being a manga reader, I saw parts of it, they weren't in the manga and they added to it to try to make it a little bit more beefier, and kind of like there was battle scenes that in the manga like that didn't happen. So like those are the parts that kind of annoyed me, because I'm like, oh, I get why you're doing that, because people are going to complain that your show doesn't have any action, and that's what people are here for. So that was like my only negative thing about it, because I just feel like the action parts that we get, like they weren't really needed, and if you're a true fan, you were going to watch it whether that got added or not. So that was like my only negative thing.
I will say so I like this season better than the last season, and more specifically because the last season was so disappointing in so many ways because you
Oh
had
man.
two upper
Oh.
demons
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they complete. I feel like the season had so much more potential and they kind of wasted it away. Like I loved the Magikarps. I loved the talents or whatever of the demons. And you introduced like two more Hashiras and then they kind of went a waste. And then because you had one upper demon that killed the Flame Hashira, and it was pretty much the one Hashira and three noobs fighting against the one upper demon, and then the upper demon won. And then
Well,
in the other
it was
season,
two, right? In the trains, right? That's what you're saying, the train season? Because you had the one that took over the whole train, but then you had
yeah,
the one
yeah,
that just like came out from nowhere.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was my
yeah,
favorite.
but the one that took over the
Akasa.
whole train, he wasn't an upper demon, was he?
Yeah,
He was a lower demon.
Upper Moon
He
3.
gave him
He's Upper
all
Moon
his
3.
blood.
Yeah, he's Upper Moon 3,
Yeah.
dude. He's my favorite. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
gotta bring out my
He-
I don't mean
Akasa.
Akasa. No, he is because he's what number
No,
3.
no, him, yeah, but the guy that took over the train, so I was watching with my really good friend Michael that specific episode, and he goes, "Oh, so you just have to play like Delulu, and then the upper guy is just gonna give you all his blood to make you stronger." I think he ended up being an upper demon,
Well, he was like a lower demon, but I
a
don't
lower upper
know.
demon.
Yeah, lower
Yeah,
upper demon, but like
yeah,
I
because you
don't.
have the upper 6, and then you have the lower 6.
Yeah, the lower 6, and so he was part of that. I mean, we never got a number for him, but I mean, I could see what you're saying. Like he could have been like Upper Moon 5, maybe, with the power boost.
Oh yeah, with the power boost maybe,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
yeah, but then and then you have the one, the night district or whatever they call it, the pleasure district,
the red light district.
yeah, and
I don't know
then
if that's the name of it.
that one you have like the one combined upper demon
Oh my god, so
and
amazing.
kills and like destroy. But it's pretty much like destroying Hashira and the other 3, like by kind of by themselves or whatever. And then all of a sudden you have 2 upper demons and 2 Hashiras,
Yeah.
and the upper demons got destroyed. Nasty. I feel like they
No,
barely put up a fight.
we never, because we were doing episode by episode review. We never really did like a full review of just the whole season. But you're right, Raul. Like, I think my biggest disappointment with the last season is just the fact that on the last episode they could have given the love Hashira like the greatest battle scene. We could have had a great scene with Rengoku, with the sound, Hashira, with the stone Hashira, with the latest season, and then if the love Hashira would have gone like a really amazing battle scene, it would have been like everybody would have loved it. Everybody would have been like, "Oh man, this season was amazing." But just the fact that last episode they didn't really do much with her in that final form of that demon, so it was just kind of like very disappointing. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like it was such a waste because like the pot guy, I feel like they could have done so much more, and the animation was fucking gorgeous too.
Yeah.
But, of the pot artist.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that going forward, man, there's gonna be 4 upper moons in play, because I think the girl with the I don't know what her instrument is. I think she's also like she replaced an upper moon, so she's an upper moon now
or something. I don't know what it's called.
And I think there's another one too. So actually, not to do spoilers, but we might actually do get 5 upper moons in the next couple movies.
Yeah, they would have to replace all the ones that died.
Yeah. Sylvia, so this guy right here, Akasa from the Mugen Train, he has, because I read the manga and I'm not gonna get to it, but I'm just gonna say this: like his backstory makes me cry anytime that I try to explain it to somebody or I talk about it. So like, I think the next movie that we're gonna get is gonna be focused on him. So I cannot wait to be in the movie theater because I've been waiting to cry once I see this, and so I'm like super excited. Cause I don't know, something about me, I just love a good cry, and I know when I go to the movie theater, like I'm just gonna get the craziest cry of my life in anything.
I was reading about him, and I did see that he doesn't kill any women or children.
He doesn't kill any women or children, yeah.
Yeah, compared to the other demons, and the guy that's the higher, whatever entity over them, he actually allows him not to do it versus the other demons where he's like, no, you have to. He actually respects him enough. Yeah.
You just gave me chills because you're gonna make me cry thinking about like why he doesn't do what he does. But
oh man, I can't wait to see. He does seem very interesting, and he's the only one that fights without any knives too. It seems like he just goes bare hands. Yeah.
And I think he has like the potential to even like be higher, like almost like an Upper Moon 2 or 1. Because the one that I hate and I think you've seen glimpses of him, but it's the Upper Moon 2. I also don't like that guy. The one that it's all beautiful and
the Six Eyes.
Not the Six Eyes. That's the one. No. That's the one. The one that's blonde and has a fan.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not a big. I mean, people love him because he's pretty boy, but I'm not a fan of that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Is number one the one that didn't show up when Musan, not Musan.
He did show up, but he was just kind of like hidden. They kept him from like us getting a good look at him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
I wonder though, obviously I didn't read the book, so I don't know, but they keep having Tanjiro think about the guy that has the six eyes, except without the six eyes.
Yeah.
Am I right in that? He sees him with just like looking normal. Are they related by any means?
So you're kind of like, I'm not gonna, again, because I read this, I'm not gonna tell you too much, but you're like somewhat,
or like they're in that
sun
person, like what are they called? Yeah. Like the sun element, and that's why he's thinking of him because he is too.
Well, I think the big theory, especially because Tanjiro has like the earrings, the big theory from everybody is that he's related to the sun people. So that's something that honestly in the next couple movies they're going to touch on the whole backstory.
I by the way, I haven't read anything, so if I inadvertently spoil something, it's not on purpose. But like it would make sense because he's got to be like the only sun breather because in I forgot one of the episodes they explained how
because his dad his dad used to practice the dance.
Yeah, in general.
Or how everything extends from that one, like sun breathing. Yeah. All the other, like water or stone, and all of them all extend from sun, right?
Yeah. And
that's why he's able to do all of them.
That's why I like you, because you do all your research, Sylvia. You go to your way to really put things together.
No, I was watching, I was doing 2 times speed, and then I was going to 1 time speed. I was like trying to really take notes on everything that was going on.
You're the living representation of that meme where it's like the guy with all the strings on the wall tying everything together. you're that.
Like, hold on a minute. I can't wait for the boys where I start to just giving all of like, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, but again, I think this season again, I think it's really cool that the show every year they give us a new season. So I applaud it for that. And I hate the fact of what they've been doing with the movies lately because the Mugen Train, when they did that, it was like its own arc. Like this wasn't like if you wanted to see a continuation of the show, you had to go see the Mugen Train in order to understand what was going to happen in the next season. And the movies lately, they've just been kind of like money grabs. But I do think going forward, I think it's just going to be like really good. They're already promoting the movie. From this season, was there any training episode specifically that you like with any of the Hashiras and like that you guys can kind of like want to talk about? You had like an episode where they spent training with each one of them.
Yeah. So there's 2 that come to mind right away. One was with the snake Hashira, and that was just him having those people tied up, and he just walks in. I was like, oh my god, like Orochimaru Part 2, jeez. And then he was like, you just got to do it fast, and then everyone's freaking out. But then you see Tanjiro like practicing while everyone else. I don't think they were even like using their swords or anything, and they're like, why are you doing this? And he goes, to make it easier for you. It's not for me. It's for you.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really sweet. And then we have the white haired dude. I think it's the Wind Hashira.
The Wind Hashira, yeah.
Yeah, where he's very strict on everyone. And I loved the part where he was like, well, I still haven't accepted you as a student. And then you just have Tanjiro going, good, because you stabbed my sister. I haven't accepted you either. And he just walks.
The beef, those 2 guys, like I don't know if
I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever fight, but man, I would pay for that.
I loved it.
I will also say I like the moment when he went to when he showed up with Tobito, the mist Hashira. Because he was just destroying everyone, and everyone just getting so like discouraged and disheartened. And then all of a sudden Tanjiro shows up and he can like kind of hold his own against them, and then everyone's just like so amazed. on like
Mhm,
how he can
mhm.
actually like do
Well,
something against.
they said that Mushiro is the descendant of like the sun technique people, so like that's something that's kind of been established from the last season when the master's
Isn't
wife
it named
went
Tobito or something like that?
Tokito or something like that. Well,
Or
Muchiro is
maybe
his
Is
first
this
Tokito.
the
name.
long?
The
Is
Miss
this the
one.
one with like the long hair
Yeah,
that's
the
like
Miss
up in front
Hashira.
with the
Yeah,
bangs?
Yeah.
yeah.
So the Miss
Yeah,
Hashira
yeah.
is
So I think he's
Muchiro
the
Tokito. Yeah.
yeah. So I think he is the closest descendant
Yeah, he
to
is.
yeah. That's
Or
why
from
he's
the main
stronger than
family.
everyone. Because I did go over a little bit with the mangas, but I didn't read them. I was just trying to like understand the characters, and I think it did say once he held a sword after like 2 months, he was immediately a Hashira because he was just so good at everything.
Oh yeah, because he's super young. He's like
Mhm.
the
He's
youngest
like
of
the
all the
youngest
Hashira,
Of
one.
them
isn't he?
all, yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
he like
Mhm.
14 or 15 or something?
Yeah. And he's creepy. I know he got like his memories back, but just how powerful he is and how like happy he is now compared to like the last season where he was just
Mhm.
kind of like they didn't really
Just
care
stuck in
to.
in the water prison,
Yeah.
like
Well, no, I mean he was just
like
cold because
Kakashi.
well, he didn't have any
From Dragon
Yeah,
Ball.
yeah,
personality.
Kakashi with the Zabuza, right?
Yeah.
But no, I love the Miss Hashira. That's definitely one of my favorites. I once did a lookup of like the strongest Hashiras in ranking, and I don't think there's like a definitive answer, but I remember
Mhm.
the
Stone
Wind
Hashira.
Hashira came in number 2, and the Stone Hashira is number 1. And that's where my head is. Like I do believe that the Stone Hashira is number 1 and the Wind Hashira is number 2. I don't know if you guys feel differently, but
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think so.
Right now, yeah, from what I've seen, but I think we just haven't fully seen everyone else
I hate.
show their.
I also think that there's probably like certain elements are better against other stuff
Like a Pokemon system.
yeah. Like the water Hashira is going to be strong against the fire Hashira, but the
Mhm.
fire Hashira is going to be better against, I don't know, a different one.
I hate how Giju is like so down on himself, and it's like, dude, get over it. Like you're a Hashira, you're obviously strong. We've seen you like do some really sick moves. Like stop it.
Is he the weakest because of that?
I feel like yeah, like he's just the weakest, and like not. I think
Which
maybe the
which one
love
is that?
Hashira,
I
and
need a hair color.
he's the water one. Giju is the
Yeah,
water.
Oh, I love
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I hate how he's so down on
He's so
himself.
down
He's
on himself. Like,
good.
dude, come
Yeah.
on, like get some confidence in
Mhm.
yourself. But yeah, he's just mad that Tanjiro he didn't keep going with the water Hashira training to become the next water Hashira, which I don't understand because you have different styles. Like why I don't know, like it doesn't. I don't understand why you would need to replace a water Hashira with another water. Like, can you just let him be?
Yeah, it's because I think that he has just too much trauma to deal with everything, and because of like the fact that like everything happened that made him become a demon slayer, and then once he was training to be demon slayer, like all his homies died in just the training to get certified or whatever, and that he like just passed out like right in the beginning, and he just survived it.
Yeah.
And then I think it all just got to his head.
Well, does it make you sad now that you know that the kid with the fox mask from the first season was like technically the strongest one in the group, and like he died, man? It kind of sucks. Like I think the potential would have been like up there with Rengoku and stuff as far as like power levels.
Well, he's obviously still training the other water breathers. So
Which other water breeder?
yeah, like Tanjiro.
Oh yeah, like Tanjiro. But
Yeah.
Tanjiro doesn't want to be a water. He wants to be fire because fire has like more of the.
I don't think he knows what he thinks that his dad is fire, which is why, or his dad had something to do with it because he didn't understand sun breathing. But now that he does, and he kind of has the book from what the fire Hashira's father gave him, I think he's realizing that he's able to kind of do. Or that's why water came easy to him, because it seems like it's not easy for the Hashiras just to like switch their elements around.
Yeah.
No, nobody can. That's the thing.
Yeah, once they find their element, that's what they're using. And then for him to go from water to fire, and then you see him using thunder as well.
Yeah.
I think he's realizing he's able to use everything, and that's why people with the black swords, that he kind of has the black one.
Yeah.
They typically never see being Hashiras because it's harder. Yeah, it's unique, and they never learn what they can truly do, right?
Sylvia, when did you start watching Demon Slayer again? Like it feels like you should be teaching us the ways of the
I'm like,
Hashiras.
sit down.
Can we rewind time and do all of our episode by episode ones all over again?
Yeah. Dude, because it's such a shame that we'll never see Tengen and Rengoku get the fire mark because those guys with a
I know. I
like,
know.
it's crazy to me that Tengen's considered one of the weakest Hashiras because he's more like the ninja and quiet kind of guy. But like,
Well,
he's
because he's not like meant to be like powerful.
but he's
He
so
has a different set of
crazy.
skills.
Yeah, I still feel like him with his two, three other wives just cracks me up. Like whenever, like, I did enjoy getting more Tengen in the
Yeah.
Hashira training. Like I do always love seeing more Tengen. So
See,
freaking
I liked him. I also liked the whole Night District season too.
yeah, that's
I
great.
enjoyed it.
So
That's probably the
yeah,
best one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
to me, that's my favorite season so far.
yeah.
Because it looked like they went from that was right after the train, right?
Yeah.
So it's like right after the train, they finally have some of their skills where they're understanding more of how they're supposed to attack or how they have to overcome certain things. So they're better, which is why I think with the two higher up demons, they were able to do it.
I just
versus just the one.
I just laughed thinking about that season with how like Tengen cross dressed them to be able to like.
Oh yeah.
And then
Zenitsu
Inosuke was like
ugly.
so pretty and Tanjiro was so ugly.
And Zenitsu too.
Oh my god, yeah, he was the prettiest one. He took the boar head off and he goes, "Oh, well, you're gonna be so easy to sell."
Oh god, yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of sad to first of all, Demon Slayer the manga ended a long time ago. That's why in the next three movies we're just gonna like be able to end the stories. But like, I do feel like if you want to continue this show, I mean, you have 1,000 years of like where Musan just kind of like ruled the countryside, and there was obviously other Hashiras. I feel like you can do standalone stories, even if they're just like, hey, this is the episode where we're gonna tell you a story about how this Hashira dealt with this situation, and like I feel like there is more potential because like honestly, as soon as Demon Slayer, like I don't know, what am I gonna look forward to, like a live action adaptation? Like I don't want that.
No, it's gonna look like Avatar.
Yeah.
Hey,
Which
question.
Avatar? I am Avatar or Netflix Avatar?
The Last Airbender, both actually. The Last Airbender,
the Netflix one.
the series, right? Like the Netflix Airbender series.
Yeah. We like the live action.
I didn't like that one. I didn't like it.
Alright. It was passable.
The live action or the animated?
The live action. The animated I loved.
Yeah.
The animated I loved. Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it. Is the bug Hashira the only one that didn't have like a whole training thing?
She's like more like the medic in the whole group,
I know,
right?
but she's gotta do something. Or at least teach him first aid or something. I don't know. I feel like she should have had her own training thing too.
Have they explained anything about her backstory or what her motivations are?
Just that her sister passed away, right? So it was her and her sister. Then they found the other girl that doesn't really speak too much, but she was in the same training as Tanjiro was when they were kind of fighting those demons over there. So we know her older sister died, and she always tries to act like she's happy, but Tanjiro basically called her out, and he was like, "You're not. Like, you don't actually like my sister. I know you're trying to, but not all demons can be friends." And I'm thinking that maybe it was her sister that ended up turning into a demon, and she ended up having to kill her, and that's why she's so like, I want to be friends. Because even when we saw like those spider people, she was like, "Can we be friends?" And she kept repeating it. And then she said the same thing with Nezuko. So I'm almost feeling like maybe it's going to connect that way.
Yeah.
Carlos is like, no, I see his face.
No. I'm like thinking about the spider people because obviously that was like a really good arc as well. And I'm just like kind of like, man, take me back to those like early episodes with that whole.
I know, I had it better than you guys. I was seeing this for the first time in my life, and every single time I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Like I know he was a lower upper moon, but that little kid spider still kind of holds a spot in my heart.
So here's what I don't get, because he created a lot of people from his family. Did he lose his powers as he was giving his powers to the other people, and that's what made him weaker?
Well, something that
because he seemed to be really strong.
Because something that we talked about is like, okay, like we've seen Musan be able to like scratch a person and turn them into like a demon, but we're like we're not really sure how you turn somebody into like how they could turn somebody into a demon. I think you have to accept it. Like I think they have to come to you, and in a way you have to like say like I do want this, and then they can pass on the blood. Because if not, why wouldn't they just be scratching people as they're fighting?
Kind of like
Yeah.
communion.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta suck the blood of Musa.
The blood of Christ.
No.
But it almost seemed like every time he was giving one of his family members, like, okay, because obviously when they came, they had like darker hair or whatever, and then they all ended up being blonde and being like part of those spider people. It almost seemed to me like he was giving them a part of his power to basically make his family, and that's why he was weaker. Because I would argue, if it's how I'm thinking, if he didn't give his power to all those people to make them his family, I think he would have been much, much stronger.
Yeah, and I think, like you talked about how Musan allows the Upper Moon 3 to like not kill women and kids, and I think they mentioned that Musan also allowed him to be able to create like this demon family. Like I don't think Musan just allows people to do that kind of thing, because you're kind of in a way building an army that potentially could go against him, I guess, maybe. But I think he only gave that kid permission to do that. So I think Musan sort of knows what he's doing when he like gets these demons, and it's like, can kind of really know inside of you what you want. So that kid must have wanted a family, and he's like, I'll allow this from you. But yeah, I don't know if he got weaker because he was passing his blood or not.
Just feel like it kind of seemed that way, because it seemed like he was so strong. Well, and then he slowly kind of got weaker, and then when they were killing those spiders, he was getting even weaker, almost.
See, I have to go back and rewatch because it's been a while. Even though, again, it's a great first.
I'll probably watch it with my son at some point.
Were you guys surprised that Musan's head came completely off and he was able to regenerate? Like now, you kind of guys understand that this guy, like, you just can't cut off his head. And we've seen that with some of the Upper Moons where like it's just not just cutting off their heads. There's like a little something extra that you gotta do to be able to like fully get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, like I wasn't surprised. Like I figure with Musan, there's gotta be like a bunch of things that you gotta, I don't know, like solve a riddle and.
See, I feel like my thing is you need to have a black sword and you need to be part of the Sun descendants.
Like get him,
maybe.
And that's the only knife that's gonna cut through him. Any other knife isn't going to work.
I mean, they didn't have the earrings. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I feel like it's leading to that.
Yeah. So, did you do any research into why the creator chooses to mimic Michael Jackson so much when some of the Musan and maybe even the Michael Jackson train guy, he kind of also sounded like Michael Jackson?
No, but now that you say it, I did say something regarding that when I was watching with my friend. I told him that Musan looks like Michael Jackson to me because he was, or like Orochimaru almost, because he was
Michael was going Jackson from is directly.
He was dressing very much like him. Even when we see him just kind of in the alleyway with his wife at that point, or whoever it was.
Yes, the little hair.
The whole time it's like, why do we have Michael Jackson here? And then they go, oh, that's Musan. He's like the. And I'm like, well, excuse me, hold on.
Yeah, even in the Mugen train, that one guy that controls the train, he sounds just like Michael Jackson. Like his voice is like Michael Jackson's talking. Musan looks like Michael Jackson. The other guy in the train talks like Michael Jackson. So I don't know if the creator has ever like formally said something like, I'm just a fan. And I understand that. I mean, it's a great homage to a great artist. So it's like, yeah, why not?
Now that you say, I had the same thought, but I just like, I don't know. I kind of just threw it to the side there.
Yeah. Ro, if you could disguise yourself as anything to fool your enemies, like what would you disguise yourself as?
Probably Michael Jackson's a good one.
And go to Vegas and be a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Or Elvis.
Oh man, if I was trying to hide myself and I could take any shape of a person, I'm trying to think what I would do. Probably move to New York, and
hey, there's a great nightlife there.
Or Puerto Rican.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Who, me?
Yeah, what did you say about Puerto Rican?
And turn into a Dominican or Puerto Rican.
What? Hey,
no, you're a demon and you want to get as much kills, right? So you're going to New York, it's nightlife, or Las Vegas, because of nightlife, and you're gonna have to look like
Glenn Powell.
Or Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh my god, Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, especially, which the thing I like about like going back to like the boys and like Musan's ultimate goal is to like, hey, if I can walk in the sun, nothing can stop me, and he can probably become like an emperor or something. But like now watching The Boys, it's like, even though Homelander is like the strongest and nobody can challenge him, it takes more than just being the strongest to rule like a whole country or to rule the world. Like if you don't have the right people that are willing to fight for you or establish like, control, like so that
Your
people
own
are,
deep.
yeah, like you can't really do much because then you have everybody they're doing whatever they can and you can't be everywhere. So it's like the same thing with Musan. Even if he does want to become like eventually he'll have to just turn everybody into demons. He's not really going to be able to control. Like I don't know. I just don't really know what that guy's game plan is. Once he does get what he wants.
Right, at that point, they don't have any food, right? Because they eat the humans.
Yeah. He's also.
Oh, that comes to that anime where I think I texted you guys about it.
The
Neverland,
Neverland,
where they just breed
God.
the kids, and then
Spoilers.
they
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil anything.
Nah, well, I mean, what was it called? So, you know the exact name of it? Neverland. What is it? The
Promised Neverland. Yeah.
So yeah, like with that one, I'll never understand what happened. Like first season's great, and then the second season's like they purposely said, "Hey, you have to end it and just do it in 10 episodes, even though there's like 150 more chapters that you need to adapt." Like, and I don't understand because there was a lot of love for that first season because it was just so different. But my only guess is that they weren't allowed to show kids getting murdered to feed demons. Yeah, like so. I'm like, I guess so. Yeah.
I can't wait for you to watch it.
I don't want to watch it. I've been told to watch it, and I purposely not watched it.
We could watch the first season, and then I would just spoil the hell out of it to like you guys know how it ended. But
I don't want.
It's like I thought it was
like
great.
I'm gonna cry.
I thought it was great. I went out of my way to read the manga because I'm like, I need to know what the true ending to this thing was, and like, yeah, it did not disappoint.
And I'm sorry, Raul, I just completely cut you off.
Yeah. I totally forgot.
I'm so sorry.
My favorite.
I forgive you.
My favorite training that I would have loved to have been part of is the Love Hashira's training.
Her flexibility.
And then being fed, and like that one sounded pretty great.
I don't know. She was like, just sit down, and then she just spread their legs into a split. She was, doesn't that feel good?
Yeah, she just made them like be flexible. That shit cracked me up. And
oh my god.
Well, her, it's so funny because in the last season we talked about like how she's so ugly and no man can love her because how she eats, how strong she is, and it's like, dude, get out of here. In a world where I always see people say like, I want that girl to step on me or whatever, like I'm like, dude, like a girl that's
not here for that.
A girl that's tall with pink hair would just be like, people would be like going all for her.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's all gym rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I did just look it up. It doesn't look like he was inspired by Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
The creator never confirmed nor denied.
Like,
he's like, what's a Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Never confirmed or denied it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's more people need to do that. I mean, again, I'm trying to just kind of think if there's anything more that I wanted to touch upon. I mean, the last episode, it's really one that I just really don't think I'll ever forget, but I don't want to just talk about that one, and I'm trying to think about which one's happening between. But again, it's just how much do you get out of a training arc? I mean, the stone training, I don't even really know if you can call that training, like pushing a boulder. I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's just
because
hard.
it's also like standing in the waterfall for a long time.
Yeah. The waterfall, that one, I would not like to do that in real life at all.
Oh, really? My thought was that would feel so good on my back.
No, I feel like you're
while
being
you're
waterboard.
And it's probably cold as hell.
Hey, I played soccer. Yeah, I love Colorado.
Oh man, I feel like that's as close as you would come to like waterboarding yourself, just standing underneath like a
Okay, weird question. When you shower, do you face forward where the water hits you in your face, or do you go backwards to where the water hits your back?
So I probably start with the front and then eventually turn it around. But right now my shower comes directly from above me, so I can't even do that. Yeah.
Now, I gotta think about it now. No, you know what? Because I start with the back. Because like I start with my hair. I start with my hair.
Yeah.
Yes, and then so it's hitting from the back.
If
you guys, you stay that way.
No. Oh no, because like I'm turning because like I do mostly back because I
Okay.
turn around like when I'm like soaping up my back and all that stuff.
If you guys want the secret to having skin like this, just never use soap, and you'll get this kind of skin at 37.
But not, no.
Use the blood of your enemies.
Hey, you can get the blood facials. They actually take a syringe, they take your blood out, and
I've
then they
seen
do a
that.
yeah,
No, I don't forget what
the
show.
vampire
I
facial.
forgot. Yeah. Oh yeah, wasn't it like one of the Kardashians had it?
Kardashians,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw it.
Mhm.
No, but not for me. Sorry.
Mhm.
So Sylvia, I mean, if we remember anything about Demon Slayer, we can go back to it. But you were gonna show us, tell us about some Korean dramas that you want us to watch, so we can talk about it. And
Yes.
I am excited to hear your synopsis for the show.
I'm not going to give you the names of them. I'm going to let you guys kind of ponder and see what summary you think is best. Because I feel like once I give the name, maybe you would have kind of known what it is.
Okay.
So I have 5 that I'm going to give you.
Just letting you know right now, I would have not known any of the names, but
so there's 5 that I'm going to recommend.
I crossed the street and found a girl, and then she ended up being my long lost sister.
Yep.
Or maid cafe run by my mother-in-law. I don't know.
So Korean dramas are typically like an hour to an hour and a half, and there's 12 episodes in a season, but it comes to a conclusion within those 12 episodes. So I don't expect you guys to watch the whole season of it, but I'm just prefacing that they do kind of feel like movies, but at the very end of it, you get like a final, like everything's done. You have all of your answers. So you do have a resolution.
Okay, great. I like that.
All right. So my 5 recommendations. The first one is this woman has cancer, and she finds out that her husband is cheating on her with her best friend.
Fuck.
They kill her, but then she wakes up.
The best friend or the cancer wife?
They kill the cancer wife.
Okay.
So the best friend, her best friend and her husband kill her, and then she wakes up like 5-10 years in the past. And now she's trying to regain her life, but she's realizing that you can't escape your fate. So she has to put her fate on someone else. So the whole thing with the show is she's trying to put that fate on her best friend, or her then best friend, because now she knows it's not her best friend, and her ex-husband. She's trying to put them together for them to have that fate. And her not to be a part of it.
I can't wait to talk to my...
I like that one. Yeah.
Now wait to talk to my dry cleaning lady about one of these shows.
So that's the first one. The second one is there's a lot of comedic elements to it, but the best way I can summarize it is he's an ex-detective. He now owns a cafe, and he also pretends that he's like one of those priests or whatever that knows pretty much anything about anyone. So people pay a lot of money to see him, and a lot of companies pay him a lot of money because he knows everything. What they don't know is that he has a whole team, and he has like a little headpiece in. So they're telling him everything that's going on, or everything about these people. And there's a bunch of murders that are kind of going on, and he's trying to solve them. But the biggest thing is everyone's coming to him, and they're trying to understand like, oh, what will the future show me? And then he has his friends basically go online and like track these people and say, oh, well, I see that you did this in your past. So everyone thinks that he's like a real person, that he actually knows what's going on.
Sounds like a Black Mirror episode. Okay.
Kind of. Yeah,
It kind of reminds me of Psych, the show.
Okay.
But different.
Is that a USA show?
Psych.
Yeah, I think so.
USA Network, sorry. So,
yeah.
The third one is
you don't know anything about
family.
You don't know anything about TBS, TNT, or So.
The third one is so there's a family of, let's just say it's a family, and all of the women in this family are extremely strong.
Sounds sexy.
And super strong, like they can step on you strong, right?
Yeah, sounds sexy.
Kind of like Encanto, the sister.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
so they lose
like
their
the love
daughter.
Hashira.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 love Hashiras.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So they lose their daughter while they're on a vacation in Mongolia, and she's basically adopted by these other people. And these other people told her from the start, like, hey, we're not your actual parents. We're always here to support you. So she goes back to her hometown, and she's trying to find her family. And she's extremely strong. and there's like a mafia group which is trying to get the strength that this family has because they've kind of been tracking them in a sense.
Okay.
And they're trying to figure out how strong they are so they're able to inject themselves with this serum that they have. But they're just born like this.
Yeah.
So within the whole thing, it's her finding or looking for her family. Her family finds a girl that they think is their daughter, but it's actually someone that was faking that they were that strong. They're not actually that strong. So they're thinking this fake girl is the actual daughter. The daughter that actually comes over there is still helping everyone. And she starts a relationship with like this detective, I guess, in a way. But the whole thing is they do finally end up meeting each other. And then we get the backstory of like the mafia group and why they're trying to use the serum.
Okay. And you've seen all of these, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This fourth one is kind of what made me go into K-dramas. It's one of the sweeter shows in a sense. So it's a woman that's extremely wealthy and she goes parachuting and there's like a whole twister tornado that happens and she ends up basically in North Korea.
Damn.
And
Damn.
so she goes to like the middle ground.
Kansas anymore.
No, I'm not.
So she goes to the middle ground of it, right? So it's basically
it's
like North
in
Korea and
Germany
South Korea.
in 1945.
So the guys, like the army men that see her, are
The
trying to get her
DNZ?
back to go
Yeah.
the other way, and she goes straight to North Korea, and then they have to try and hide her to basically not be outed and be killed for letting someone from South Korea come in.
Yeah.
So it's like looking at their adventures as to how they're bringing her back down to South Korea.
Question. How bad do they make North Korea look, like realistically how they probably are, or is it just more like, they're Nazis?
It is realistic, but it's very much you get to see like the personalities still. So they're in a village and you get to see like, okay, it's very hard, but these people work together and they're all actually really nice people. It's just the country as it is kind of thing. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
But there's like 5 guys that are trying to like get her to come back down. There's the leader. There's this guy that keeps saying like, no, we just need to like get her out of here. We need to kill her. We need to like ruin this. There's another guy who secretly watches K-dramas like on the side, even though they're not allowed to really watch TV. There's one that's like the super attractive guy that everyone says is like, he would be a K-pop star. And then there's this one super sweet, sensitive guy. And they're all just trying to get her back to South Korea, basically.
Oh my God.
Is it a boy band?
Yes, they end up being a boy band, and then, they tour. It's BTS. And the last one is also kind of funny. There are a lot of murders that are happening in this one, but she's a vet and she goes to kind of help this farmer
like
out.
Animal vet or like military
An animal vet? No, just an animal vet. So she's helping this guy during a storm to kind of figure out what's going on with his cow, and thunder hits them, right? And they realize that they kind of have superpowers now, but her superpowers is, so she's able to look into someone's brain, but she has to be touching their butt.
Oh, that's like that's like iZombie, kind of.
Is it? So they're trying to figure out who murdered these people, but every time she's like trying to grab people's basically their ass
funny.
just to kind of see what they're thinking, or if they were the person that did it. And she realizes that when people have their eyes closed, she can't see what's going on because they have no memory then. So she realizes this person knows that she has this power, and now she's trying to figure out who closes their eyes the most often. And she's just going up, like trying to make it seem inconspicuous about her just grabbing someone.
Is this woman attractive where people might actually enjoy her grabbing their butts, or is
she's cute, but it's like a typical, just like, she looks like normal. A little bit nerdy. She's very normal. She's like she's like the girl next door.
Let's just say
a very sweet little.
Let's just say between Ramon and Ro, if one of them was touching my ass, one would be welcome and the other one might not.
Wait, the one that's related to you or the one that's not related to
you? Okay.
It's like it's basically just like a stranger that would be working at a GameStop. Gotcha. Or like a worker at GameStop.
Okay.
Just going up and feeling your butt.
Okay.
So those are your 5 options.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, like the ones from what you described that caught my attention and I would be more down for is I like number 1 because I'm all for like the drama and like seeing that, and I think in Korean drama it's probably done really, really well. And I also really enjoy that last 5 description. So it's between 1 and 5 for me.
Dude, I was thinking the first one too, because the whole cancer wife. Because I don't know, I think of like K-drama. I think of soap operas.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
exactly.
I grew up watching like Spanish soap operas, the
novelas,
Mexican ones. Yeah, and like my mom would watch them, and then like back even when I was older, but like in high school and stuff. If my mom was watching it, like sometimes I would watch it with her. I was like, oh, is that the you could always tell who the bad person was and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe the first one, and then I do like that last one about grabbing. It sounds funny.
Yeah.
A random girl going
You
around
said they're
grabbing
12
butts.
episodes each?
Just about, yeah. They
Did we do
average out
both,
to that.
1 and 5?
Yeah, for sure. So
Let's do 1 and 5, bro. I mean, I think we could do it in
I gotta
a month.
I gotta keep thinking about it though. So the North and South Korea one with the boy band is also kind of interesting.
I'm not
And then
watching more than 2.
And then the psych one with the detective with the thingy that also sounds interesting.
Let's do
so
1 and
that
5.
second one is, I will say the second one is very, very much like a comedy almost. Like there is a lot that's happening to it, but there is another separate detective that's also kind of figuring out these murders, and she's trying to out the other like priest, I guess, in a sense, to be like, no, look, like he has a headpiece, he has an earpiece, but then we find out that they may have had a thing with each other in their past, but she is also someone that could step on you.
Okay, Sylvia, so this is not gonna...
the strong women one.
Well, what's your... Okay, can you tell us which of these 5, which 2 are your favorite ones? That's not gonna, cost me to change my vote, but I just want to know.
I'll say the one that got me into K-dramas was number 4, the one with the North and South. The one that I just...
Yeah.
Yes, the one, yep. And then the one that kept me laughing were actually the detective and then the strong girl one. And then the other 2, the first one I did enjoy, and I will say that that's the one where I when I played it, Mitchell wanted to watch it.
Which one was
like
the
he
one,
was
Mitchell?
getting into it.
Which one?
That's the one where the cancer wife.
The cancer wife.
Okay.
The time traveling cancer wife.
I mean, we can vote off screen row, but I definitely right now I'm leaning more towards 1 and 5, and I might be able to.
Honestly, I'm down with just starting with number 1, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, 1. So we're gonna commit to 1, Sylvia, and then we'll see if the
cancer wife, time traveling cancer wife.
Do you want me to reveal the title?
Is it called Erased?
No.
Number 1?
Yeah.
My wife has cancer.
Close. Marry my husband.
What is it?
Marry my husband.
Marry my husband.
Oh, okay.
And it's on Prime Amazon. So.
Nice.
Oh, okay. Prime Video.
Okay, great, great. I'll make sure to watch, and if anybody can find the movie Made, I'll think about that. What the name is? It's really good too. I don't know if it's a Korean movie, but it's so good. It's called like Made. I'll have to look it up. But yeah.
Okay.
Or if anybody has heard of this other game, this other movie or show, Korean show about a poor guy that ends up. What's the name of the game? Never mind. Nothing.
Oh, Squid Games.
Squid Games. There we go.
So I don't know.
I'm sure nobody's heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's The Housemaid, but there's this one movie that has to do with like a maid, and it's so freaking good that depending how good we like this Korean show, we might just have to start turning this podcast into a Korean drama show. Yeah,
K-dramas and animes.
Yeah.
Parasite. That's Korean.
Okay. Well, no, I mean this has been awesome.
Solo Lovely.
Oh yeah, Solo Lovely.
We'll watch Singles Inferno. Raul and I will watch that.
Yeah, I don't know next time you guys go camping.
It's like Love Island, but like a Korean version of it.
Bring that iPad when you guys go camping and you guys can watch it. All right, guys. Well, it's been great. Demon Slayer, we talked about it. Really fun. So I can't wait to talk to you guys next week when we talk about the hit MASH. Is that what it's called? MASH? Mashal. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the character's name is Mash, and like it's mixing kind of like mash and muscle. So
I'll never get it right, but excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you guys. Bye.
Toodles.